Hi there, this is Victor Pross speaking to you. Thank you for viewing in. A lot of people have sent me emails asking about my views regarding voting. And I think a lot of people have seen the Mike Shanklin video, Anarchist Artist, and I think that's probably piqued their curiosity. And they might have seen some other videos of mine, or they just might know of me as an artist to begin with. And indirectly happen to know what my political views are. For clarification, that is anarchist or voluntarist. If anarchist has a very negative connotation, let's go with the softer volunteerist. But before I get into any subject of such as voting, I guess it's probably let's just start from the very beginning and ask the question of what you're voting for. You're voting for a system that's set up in such a way that where we have a government. And what is government? That's the question. Basically, government is, without putting too fine an academic spin on it, and just speak in basic, down to earth language. Government is force. It's a gun at the temple. It's a club. It's a fist. Of course it is. It's an institution that is inherently evil because it does initiate force. So when I do say that government is force, I mean to say that it's an institution that initiates force. Now, I'm not some kind of unilateral pacifist. I do believe in retaliatory force against people who would threaten us, threaten our life and property, of which government is the biggest culprit, by the way. There's no way that any private citizen, through even mass fraud schemes, Ponzi schemes, or just your basic hold-up man, there's nothing that compares to the scale of destruction that governments impose. So, hey, I'll take my chances when it comes between a private criminal and an institutionalized criminal, and that's what politicians are. They are institutionalized criminals. They're criminals in all senses of the word. They're moral criminals, and they're legal criminals in the sense that they break the very laws that they impose. So there you go. They're hypocrites and they're criminals. So government is force. It is the initiation of force, and I do place a great deal of stress upon that. It is the initiation of force, and taxation is theft. Of course it's theft. I mean, there's a lot of people who would, get up in arms and, over that and get their feathers all ruffled on making such a bold statement. But I think that it's empirically validated. I think it's something that's even common sense dictates, and we take a great deal of time trying to block this out. But of course it's theft. Taxation is theft. Okay, so now that we've established that government is force, it's inherently evil because they initiate force against innocent people, and taxation is theft. There you go. That is the paradigm that we're currently living within. That is the system. All right, now voting. Voting basically is trying to decide through a democratic process who's going to be the Mafia Don of this system. Now, the system is inherently evil. It's an institution of force. So once you understand that, it doesn't really matter who you vote for, because they're going to be the head of that system. Voting basically is for the politicians. It's not for the people. It's not for that amorphous blob called the people. It's for the politicians. And when I say that it's for the politicians, I mean that in many senses of the word. I'll just cover a few here. But they're looking to seek your moral sanction for their predations. They even have to give it like a slim coating of legitimacy in their own mind, because, yeah, let's face it, most people are not just, evil through and through. I mean, not the majority of people. There are some people who are like very seriously psychotic and have suffer a complete break from reality, and they're totally evil through and through. But let's just take maybe your average politician. Maybe somebody else would argue otherwise. I'm open up to arguments, but the system is designed in such a way as to give give sanction to evil, basically, and they think that through this process of called voting, that you're participating, you have a say in it, and you approve of it, you give the thumbs up, so that gives them a feeling of a legitimacy and moral sanction for their predations. And of course it is predations because, like I say, government is force and taxation is theft. So here comes the politician, just like some demigod who's offering all the goodies in the world. He comes on like an evangelist, and even the language is laced with this. The whole system of music and anthems and fiery speeches. It comes across like a cheap show TV evangelist sideshow freak show tent deal. So it really is food for fodder. It really is a lot of fodder for the caricatures to make fun of, and that's exactly what I do. I mean, it's a freak show. I mean, I laugh at this stuff. It's pathetic. It's pathetic in the sense of watching my fellow human beings groveling before these fucking assholes. It's funny, but it's also sad at the same time. So I'm kind of divided there. I look at people, I feel sorry for them, and at the same time, I'm laughing at the whole thing. The whole thing is patently ridiculous. And so basically, voting is, there's a lot of reasons why people would vote. Maybe they're hoping to keep more of the money that the politicians have stolen, and the politicians are aware of this, so they'll offer that as their platform. You know, I'm going to cut your taxes because the money is better spent, you know, through by the private citizen. You know better how to spend your money, and that's their platform line, of course. And then they appeal to that segment of the population. Of saying, I'm going to offer, you know, I mean, like, the money is not theirs to offer back to you. Okay, you know, you can keep more of your money. I mean, what? And we're going to vote for that? I mean, we're going to vote and grovel. Please give me back some of the money that you stole from me. Give me some tax breaks. Okay, cut the GST and the harmonized tax. Please, please. It's begging. It's embarrassing. So in that sense, I agree with Stefan Molyneux that in that case, voting is begging. Okay, and what an embarrassing spectacle. How groveling before the political elite, before these fucking assholes, these moral criminals, begging for something that they have stolen in the first place. So you know, enough of that. But then there's people who are voting for other reasons. You know, they're voting because now they want to point the gun at another section of the population, somebody else. You know, that's what politicians do. They divide the people. They get us fighting all among ourselves. You have the middle class fighting with the rich, or the poor fighting with the rich. We're going to tax the rich more. We're going to increase taxation on the middle class. We're going to put more money over here, and everybody's going, well, how come the you know, the corporations and the rich, how come they get the tax breaks, and how come the churches aren't taxed, and blah, 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 blah. And it's all the citizens fighting among themselves, and there's the politicians looking down from up on high from their ivory tower, looking down on the little anthill that's the civilization of the people who are actually producing and making things from which they expropriate. Politicians are fucking parasites. They don't create nothing. An institution that's based on the expropriation of the productive energies of the people have nothing to offer you. All they can do is expropriate the productive efforts through taxation, and of the 70% that they take and pocket themselves or invest into various nefarious plans that have nothing to do with you for the betterment of a country or a people. And they give back 20% of that and have you scrambling for it, whether it be for corporate welfare or having it for welfare in general, or you want your medical plan, you want more schooling. I mean, they take over these industries of medicine and schooling and hold that for ransom. Oh, you want more? You want more? You want more investment into the public schools? I mean, this is exactly what they're doing, and they have us fighting among ourselves, and they're off to the bank laughing. I mean, these people, politics is show business for ugly people, and it is a freak show. So when you're voting, all you're doing is you're giving legitimacy to these assholes. You're giving moral sanction to these people, and you're supporting them. You're giving credence to this whole institution. That's all you're doing. You might be coming from a good place. You might be very concerned about, like, various causes and people and things like that. And the politicians who hold up their rhetoric, they get a sense of this. They sniff you out. They're like jackals who they lick their fingers to see what the current political winds are and the social winds to see what people are concerned about. Then they shape the language that caters to that, and they feed right into your psychology. And they say, "Yes, I'll be the one who gives you that. Only I can give you that. You're powerless without us." So, and then we have a scrambling, okay, I'm going to vote for you, and then you have a lot of people, I'm going to vote for the lesser evil. You don't have to participate into this system at all. I mean, look at the language. It's not the anarchists who came up with this phrase, necessary evil, when describing government, or I'm going to vote for the lesser evil. I mean, the language gives it away, for God's sakes. It's something it's like a bromide that's out there in the social osmosis, or the zeitgeist. Voting for the lesser evil. Well, the key word here is evil. Okay, you're sanctioning evil. It doesn't matter if it's the greater evil or the lesser evil. You're sanctioning evil. That's all you're doing. So there's a lot of other things that you can do for all the things that you care about, that you're concerned about. There's a lot of other alternatives that can be utilized. You don't have to rely on the system or support it or sanction it and give it legitimacy. It's evil through and through. Now, the bottom line of all the rambling that I have done is basically, I can just close out with saying this regarding politicians. They don't care about you. Thanks.